Welcome to another Farmtown misadventure with Charlie Many Layers and JJ. In this episode, we determine which crops need to be planted so that you have ingredients for your facilities. And we'll be doing this using the facility manager and parts of its functions. We'll also be showing you how the super neighbor would be able to determine which crops are to be needed the most. If this video helps you, click on like and subscribe. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask, and either in the comments on the video or on our channel, where you can find the links to my Facebook account as well as the Farmtown links for Charlie and JJ. Enjoy. First off, we'll determine which crops do we really need for this farm account. And we'll do this by using the facility manager. And this really doesn't matter whether you have the tools for it or not. It comes as part of the built-in tools. So we can go over here to the toolbox, open it up, and go over here to the facility manager, which is going to be this little guy right here, facility manager. So you click there, and it'll load. Now, in order to do this, I will have to go to a less than full screen, so I will do that. So we'll transition here and get it up here big enough so we can all see it. Okay, this is the facility manager, and we do need to make sure that all of our facilities are displayed in it, whether we can work them or not. We've got the factories and the certain clients both, but in order to make sure we have that, we come here to where the settings are, which is right here, and we really don't need our animals, but buildings, but we're going to leave them alone. And we do need our regular facilities, and we need our service facilities. So that's already set. And if we've changed anything, we click on the green. Okay. Now, what we're going to use is this table up here. What this does, this tells you what ingredients are required for these facilities that you have on your farms. And so you just click on it, and it's going to load up here in a little bit. And I just have this for setting for all facilities. And for references, I will set it to 15 days, because 15 days is generally the amount you need to completely fill everything to begin with. And I go by category. This is adjustable, but I use the category. You can go in various other methods, but this works best for what we're going to do here. And then once you get all that done, you click on Update, and it'll update. First off, it shows us right off the top, it shows us a 15-day of what you would need for your farms. And you'll notice that we have crops listed here. Crops come first, and then once we've gone through with crops, we go through down here. There's a lot of crops being used. And then once we get through with crops, we go into flowers, so that you could actually determine which flowers you need. Now, the bad part about this is it doesn't just stand right out there and tell you which ones you need. You have to put your mouse over the top of it. Like as an example right here, this is wheat. Of course, we kind of get used to seeing that. These are the flowers we need. And you'll notice as an example here on the flowers, okay, this is probably champus. And I know that's extremely small, and I can't hardly see it without my glasses. And I really wish it was bigger, but it's not. That's a CHAMPA. That's a relatively new one, and as you can see, it shows red down here. That means I don't have sufficient for a 15-day supply. Also, so I would need both of these flowers planted, more of them. But the same would be true if they were red up here on our crops, which we're really interested more in at this point. So we can see that for the most part, we don't have any red on any of these things, so that we do have sufficient numbers of crops for loading for 15 days. So this is in pretty good condition, except for the flowers. The main thing is it tells us what we need in the way of crops, because that's the most immediate thing that we have to adjust or decide each and every day. Now, that's if you are the owner of the farm and you have access to the facility manager. What if you're the super neighbor of a farm and your farm owner says, I want you to plant whatever I need for my facilities. So how are we going to do that? Well, the way we're going to do that, and it really doesn't matter which farm you're on, but you can, when you go to plant crops on a farm, you just simply go and click on your toolbox and you select any of your planting tools. And usually you would do this in the process of working the crops. After you've harvested and plowed, and you may even be using the combine tool where you do this all in the same time. So what we do is we go to the selection if we're buying seeds, and we do click on here and bring it down in the order of stored amount. Okay, now this tells us, you notice right up on top here, it has chia, and you'll notice it says it's got none of them. But when we looked at the other thing, we know that it doesn't need any chia. It doesn't need any of the dandelion. In fact, everything that it needs is actually we do have. So what we can do is we just simply go down here and scroll. Okay, I got a feeling it's right in here. And once you get used to your super neighbor position, you'll kind of know where you got to start. Okay, the taros are there. Well, we don't need them. How about the wild rice? The wild rice, we do not need that. But the ginseng we do. And as you remember, ginseng happened to be on the very first of that other thing. So if you're the super neighbor, you're going to say, well, let's see, do we need some ginseng? And depending upon how your farm manager wants you to do it, you may do 3-day crops, or you may do 2-day crops, or whatever they prefer you to do as far as in your selection. But generally, you would check if there's the least amount of anything, you would start at ginseng and then work your way on down. As these are harvested, of course, that's going to change positions. And you always will have, even if you had some ginseng already planted right now, as you harvest them, that number is going to go up and it's going to go down, and then you would see next that you got pinto beans, which you need a few of those. Various ones there, and depending upon what your farm owner wants you to do, determines which ones you pick, if that's what they want you to do. And for my super neighbors, that's what I prefer that they do. I do allow them that if they have the time and can go in there, run them short ones. And if you take and irrigate and are able to irrigate, that makes that into a 4-hour crop, but it'll be good for, you can plant it today and harvest it tomorrow. Here's 1-day crops. Again, you irrigate it after you've planted it, and you can harvest it tomorrow. This passion fruit is a 4-day crop. You irrigate it, it becomes a 2-day crop, and it's good for at least 4 days. That would be a long one. The agaves and the yerba mate, those are the short ones. Generally wouldn't irrigate those. I would just plan on coming back in 2 to 4 hours. That's how you decide. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you, and have a great day.